My dad was a mechanical engineering professor, and my mom was a cartoonist for the Rocky and Bullwinkle show. In fact, she was the model for Natasha Fatale, and the two of them together were the perfect inspiration for my view of engineering. So I was very fortunate at Berkeley to have an undergraduate advisor, Aram Tamazian. And when I told him I was interested in math and engineering, he said, well, communications is one of the most theoretical areas of engineering, so why don't you take some communications classes? So I took some communications classes as an undergraduate, but I really didn't like them. However, when I was applying for jobs, I ended up getting a position in a defense communications startup, and I just loved working on wireless communication. I really fell in love with the technology, but I realized I didn't know enough to build the kind of systems that I wanted to build, so I decided to go back for a master's, which ended up turning into a PhD and a lifelong love of wireless communications. I asked the question in my master's thesis, what's the fundamental limit of a wireless channel? It was actually asking the question that was the hardest part of the research. The answer was very simple. It actually used first-year calculus to derive the optimal capacity of a wireless channel. And that actually is the basis of the adaptive modulation that I later developed and that's used in all Wi-Fi and cellular systems today. In 1989, 1991, people weren't thinking about data rates at all. I mean, the best we could do was some short texts over those second generation systems. And again, Wi-Fi was far into the future. That didn't come out until the early 90s. And immediately in Wi-Fi systems in the early to mid 90s, they were using adaptive modulation. I didn't really start working on multiple antenna systems until I moved to Stanford. So I moved to Stanford in 1999.
So Andrea did some pioneering work in MIMO, studying how to maximize the capacity in fading channels using multiple input, multiple output antennas. She eventually founded a company, Quantenna, which actually put MIMO into chips that became a big part of Wi-Fi. And of course, Wi-Fi became a part of all smartphones in the late 2000s.
The bulk of my academic career was spent at Stanford. In fact, I retired from Stanford, so I'm an emerita at Stanford. I wanted to teach a class on wireless communication. Nobody wrote the textbook that I wanted to use in my class, so in the end, I decided that I would write a textbook on wireless communication. I never wanted a co-author for that book because I wanted to write the story of wireless and write about the technology and write the textbook for the class I wanted to teach, and I didn't want to compromise. I came to Princeton to increase the impact of the School of Engineering, to make it a catalyst for a high-tech hub, and also to increase the diversity in the profession.
Most of her mentors and sponsors were men. I think it's very important to Andrea that she be a role model and a sponsor for women and other underrepresented people within that field.
If we want the profession to achieve its full potential, if we want to develop the best technologies, if we want to have the most positive benefit on humanity, we need diverse people to help us figure out how to do that. I say the profession needs you more than you need the profession.
I'm very confident that many of the people she has mentored will become leaders in this field in the years to come.
She's won so many awards. IEEE prize papers, the IEEE Armstrong Award, the Marconi Prize, which is like the Nobel Prize in communications.
Andrea serves on the PCAST, very important committee advising the president on science and technology.
She's on the board of Medtronic, a major medical company, Intel, and Crown Castle.
I feel very lucky to have a rich life, and when I talk to young people about success, I say, don't think of success only in your professional dimension. All dimensions are important. I'm most proud of having a balanced life with a family that I love and adore, and that gives me just as much satisfaction as any other professional success I've achieved.